Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome back to the exciting world of flight simulation. Our last flight we flew from Phoenix to Memphis in our lovely 777 here. It was a little choppy on the way in, probably going to be choppy on the way out as well. And on this flight we're going to fly from Memphis to Seattle, and it's probably going to be choppy on the way into Seattle too, because we got the Drizwiki Designs Seattle over there. Frame rates are just having a tough time, not really sure why. It's but it is what it is. It's pushing towards 8 o'clock in the evening here, 2000 for you military types out there, and we are scheduled to depart at 2015. That's our scheduled departure time. So real quick before we hop on the flight deck, I just want to say I spent a few minutes on the Mac Air Discord, well, about an hour or so on the Mac Air Discord a little while ago. I had the opportunity to talk with the COO, Joe, and I talked with Greg and Pat, all guys that I know. Pat I know really well, him and I go back a long ways. Joe I know quite well as well. So anyway, I just want to say it was a great time chatting with them. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. You're fantastic. Listen, if you are looking for a place to do something different with your flight simulation, Mac Air is a great place to go. You know, we've got different divisions over there. You've got your professional division, cargo division, open division, historical division. You can fly anything you want. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing, and the group of folks over there is just fantastic as well. You can get on that Discord and you can just chat it up with folks. You can stream your own flights on there. There's all kinds of stuff. And I've got two offices over there, one for meeting with the staff, this is on the Discord, one for meeting with the staff, and then one for meeting with the pilots. And I'm going to start making it a point to drop in there. So if you're a member of Mac Air, keep an eye out, watch for me to be on in the Captain Mac chat room there, or whatever it's called. And you get an opportunity to hang out and chat with me, maybe do a flight, something like that. We'll see what happens. So if you're not a member, head on over to macairvirtual.com, check it out. It's a good time. All right, enough talk about that. What do you say we hop on the flight deck here and we get this bad boy going? Big jump. There we go. We're going to start things off, as always, with our pre-flight checklist here. So our block fuel has been loaded and verified. Let me just pop up my flight plan over here. We are releasing with just shy of 72,000 pounds of fuel. Our payload is 117,205 pounds, not as much as our last flight. Parking brake is set, battery switch is on. That is this guy up here. I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker this time just because I want to get things moving. Primary flight computers, auto and guard closed. That's this guy right here. Thrust asymmetry compensation is on auto, which it is. APU gen switch is in the on position, which it is. IFE and passenger seats we don't have in this one. Cabin utility is on. This guy right here. Left and right bus tie switches are both in auto. Backup generator switches are on. I can do this from memory, but not with the names, right? So I just go through and I do everything, but now, because I want to read the checklist off to you guys, I got to read it. Let's see. Left and right generator control switches on, these two here. Backup generator switches are on as well. That's these two in the middle. I already did that one, didn't I? APU selector switch, we're not going to start the APU yet. Nav light needs to go on. We're going to turn the logo light on because it's going to be getting dark here shortly. Cockpit lights as needed. We don't need them yet, but we will. I can tell you that for certain. So you can't see them right now, but I'm going to have that brightness cranked up there, because when it starts to get dark, all this is going to light up. It's a nice pretty green. I like it. Logo light, we already got that. Emergency exit lights armed and guard closed. Left click, there we go. And left and right pack control switches in auto. Left and right both in auto. Ataru needs to go on, and that takes us to our FMC initialization. Here we go. Let's return that. Let's just hit menu, FMC, position initialization. We're going to put KMEM. There we go. Next page. Grab this GPS here. Waiting for it to pop up. Just give it a second, it'll pop up here. There it is. Literally took like a second, didn't it? Bam, there we go. Fantastic. And that takes care of our pre-flight checklist. And that'll move us into our cockpit preparation. That's an interesting one. Preparation checklist. We're going to start jumping up top here, make sure that the window key is on. It is, all four of them up there. Primary, left, and right engine hydraulic pump switches on. This one and this one here. Primary C1 and C2 electric hydraulic pump switches, these two in the middle, are off. And then all four of these guys down here have to be off as well. Fasten seatbelt signs goes to auto. EEC mode switches are both in normal up there. Start switches are normal. Auto start is in the on position. Left forward fuel pump pressure light is not off. We'll turn the fuel pump on. It gets rid of the pressure light. Wing and engine anti-ice is auto or as needed. That's these guys down here. There is no gasper switch. Equipment cooling. Oh, had an itchy nose there. Equipment cooling is on auto. Recirc fans are in the on position. The temperature control is all in auto or as desired / required. And where are we at? Left and right pack control switches are both in auto. Left and right trim air switches are in the on position. And that's the two in the middle there. Let's see. The isolation switch valves are all in auto. That's these three here. And all of our bleed switches are in the on or auto position. Pressurization is also supposed to be in auto, which it is, so we're good to go there. HOTAS obtain. Let me just pop up Active Sky over here and I'll give you a quick rundown. I hate how it goes quiet because it's a lot easier if I can switch windows and you don't really know I'm switching windows, right? Okay, wind is 240 at 4 knots visibility, 10 statute miles, clouds scattered at 4,700 feet, temperatures 27 degrees, dew point 17, no precipitation. And the altimeter is 2984. Good time. Now we got our HOTAS. So that's going to bring us down here to setting up the FMC. And of course, it's pretty fun in this one. You go to route request, 777, and we're going Memphis to Seattle. That's the route we put in there. Send the request, and then we wait. This really is the easiest FMC to set up, right? I mean, you can do all the same stuff you do as far as setting it up. You know, like you do in the 737 or the 747 or whatever. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to fly the 747 next. You guys tell me what you think, but that's probably what I'm going to do. I really like that 747. Let's go ahead and load that. Always been a big fan of that. Just a big beast of an aircraft. Alright, there it is. The link is uploading now. Just waiting for that. There we go. Gives us the option to activate it. I'm not even going to put the runway in right now. But it is probably going to be runway 24 for us. And then on to performance initialization, and it's already, see, request is sent. So there it is. There's the uplink, and then there's all the information there. Now we are going to lower the reserves substantially, but I'm going to accept it first, and then I'll just change the reserves, because otherwise it's going to tell us we don't have enough fuel, right? Wind data uplink is ready. I'm trying to remember how we grabbed that last. Why am I struggling with wind data uplink? It's not on BNAV, right? Legs, route data. It was route data. There we go. Load. And execute, and then descent forecast is ready as well, which that's going to be, that's not on VNAV either. Route data, there's wind, this is what I'm struggling with this aircraft. I can't seem to remember for the life of me these simple things. Just go to route, alternate takeoff. Where's my descent page? I don't remember where that's at. That's awesome. Now I look kind of silly. You know what? I'm not going to mess with it right now. Let's just move on to the takeoff page, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Flaps are going to be 5. Center of gravity is going to be 29.4. It's actually bugging me now. I don't know why I can't remember. Let's select our departure here. Oh, some things, right? Okay, it's been a long day. It's going to be Elvis for departure. It's Memphis. It has to be Elvis, right? And it doesn't say. It's kind of weird because so it's from the Elvis 4. It's taking us straight to the Memphis VOR, but that's like right on the airfield. And then wait till you guys see this departure procedure. It's crazy. So this is East 4, East 1, East 3, East 2. North 5, North 4, North 1, North 3, North 2. That's what those are. And when I brief the departure, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But we're going out to SGF, which, as far as I know, isn't an option on here. What I do know is that it's northwest. I don't know. I'm not going to pick a transition. We're just going to take runway 27. We're going to call it gravy, and then we'll figure it out from there, shall we? Sounds good. Okay, route. Takeoff page. Let's do that. Center of gravity 3.25 on the trim. 156 is our V2, 145 is our rotate speed. Let's look at our legs page. So Memphis right away, then Lucky, then Zavel. Let's go quiet for just a sec. I gotta look at this departure. You guys are gonna love this thing. It's absolutely crazy. So, like, Lucky's not on here, right? Like, none of those waypoints are on here. But that VOR, it is right on top of the airport. Let me show you. Come on. There's the VOR right here. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to mess around with that, but I'm not gonna do it right this second. It's not that big a deal. We'll be fine. Okay, what else we gotta do here? The only thing we didn't get was our descent weather, which for the life of me I can't remember where we grabbed that at. Go to legs page, route data. There's the wind, right? Do we request it again? I don't think we. It's same wind. It's not the VNAV page. I'm feeling kind of foolish on this one, guys. Wind data uplink is ready. Yeah, see, you just load it in there. It's the same one. I got it last time, and for some reason this time it eludes me. Execute. I'm not messing with it anymore. We're done. Let's put this on the takeoff page for now. Okay, where does that take us to? That was our FMC. Next we're going to set up the MCP. Let's see, I'm just looking on my chart over here for altitude restrictions. This chart is going to take me a while to find any of that. Expect vectors to join 5,000 or requested altitude if lower. So that's what we're going to put this to. We're going to put it to 5,000. Come on. 5. There we go. Okay, auto throttle is on. Flight directors need to come on. Runway heading is 273 degrees. Put this on runway heading 6543. There we go. And then what was that speed again for departure? It was 156. So plus 5 is 161. There we go. That sets that. And the only other thing to set is the barometric pressure, which I'm going to do the cheater version and hit B because I forgot what it is, and I didn't want to click and change windows again. Okay, flight instruments are set. There are no flags. Auto brake needs to go to RTO. That's this guy down here. There we go. I just pushed that because it caught my attention, believe it or not. Comms good, transponder, we need to test that, so let's put this, you guys know the code by now, 2336. There we go. Hit the test button, let it do its thing. You can see it going through that there. Aileron and rudder trim are both at 0, and that is going to, that's taxi and takeoff briefing next. So
TCAS test pass.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and take care of that taxi brief real quick. Okay, we're over here on the FedEx ramp. We are on the end of this particular building here. We're right here, and we're going to be going to runway 27, which is right here. So that's fantastic. It'll probably be the shortest taxi we've ever had on this channel. We don't really need to worry about the narratives on this because none of it's really going to apply to us in this particular instance. Our ATIS, however, is going to be on 127.75, Memphis clearance on 125.2. Ground control for us, we're taking runway 27, so it's going to be 121.0, and then tower for us is going to be 118.3, and then departure for us is going to be this guy here, 124.65. Alrighty, we're probably going to be a little bit early getting out of here, but I want to get this show in the air. I almost said on the road, but I remembered. Alright, let's move on then. Our before start checklist. Cabin and cargo doors are closed and armed. External power air is not disconnected yet. Let's take care of that real quick. Actually, before we do that, we need to be smart here. Let's turn on the APU. And let me go to this view here. And let's just put it right here, shall we? Status. There we go. So you can see APU right here, waiting for that to spin up. While we're waiting on that, let's go up top here. Right electric, demand hydraulic pump selector. This guy goes to auto. C1, C2 electric hydraulic pump switches. Excuse me. Both go on. C1, C2. No, I'm sorry. Left electric demand hydraulic pump selector goes to auto. And then these two here both go to auto as well. Left and right fuel pump switches all need to come on. There we go. Seatbelt signs are already on. Beacon light can come on, but no strobe light. And then push the recall switch. Our APU is just about done spinning up. So we'll just wait for that to finish up, then we'll disconnect ground power and we shall push back. You know, my GSX is doing this weird thing. I was hitting Control F12 to pull up the GSX menu, and now when I do that, it pulls up a Sim Connect menu, but it doesn't. Yeah, I have to go to the other option, which is Control Shift Enter, and I can't figure out where to change that at. I thought I knew, but I did not. Apparently not. So anyway, APU's running. So down we go here. Let's disconnect. And brakes are on. Remove. Flight hasn't officially started yet. Won't start until we start to push back, which Control Shift Enter. Prepare for pushback and departure. So there we go. A bunch of stuff dropping in there. That's how it usually goes, right? He's going to drive right through that pole. Of course he is, because that makes sense. He's walking over here, waiting on them. Just waiting on these guys now. That's all we're doing. We're just kind of sitting here with a twiddling our thumbs, right?
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Yeah, so am I. Waiting on you, buddy. So I've already customized the pushback for this position, and I know it's wrong. I know it is. So when you see it and you're like, oh, you can't even go there.
Locking gear.
Just relax. This parking space, this aircraft shouldn't even be here. That's the reality of it. But it is. And so we're going to stay here. Well, we're not. We're going to push back from here. But one thing I dislike is you've got all these cargo spots listed on here, but they don't tell you the size when you're on your P3D menu. Let's see. Nose right, tail left.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Bam.
Commencing push.
Flight
All engines clear.
has begun.
Start at will.
Okay, so we can go ahead and start. So let's go ahead and take care of our engine start checklist. Secondary display unit, that's the one down here. Needs to be on engines, which it was already. We are going to start the engines. You're supposed to announce it for some reason. So engine 1 start selector goes to start. That's way up here. Start. And as soon as we see that N2 moving, which we do, go ahead and introduce fuel. So this thing should start turning like right away, almost. I don't know, it's really weird the way the parking's set up here too, to be honest with you. But basically our right wing is going to be hitting that building behind us. We need to put that back on nav. There we go. Just waiting on engine 1 to stabilize. You can hear it coming in there. I love it. Yeah, we're definitely going to be hitting that building. So the idea, I set it up so that it should be straight on this line. It's not going to happen though, I can tell you right now. Okay, you heard the start selector kick off. Yeah, our right wing would probably be hitting this building. But I could be wrong. Yeah, see, they bypassed it. They tried, but they bypassed it. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of engine 2. Left click to start. N2 starts coming up. Go ahead and put the fuel on. Yeah, so he's going to scoot us back over and line us up, but then the back of the aircraft would be running into the aircraft that would be parked behind us. Good times. Alright, waiting on engine 2 to finish spooling up. Here's my creaky chair. At least it's going to line it up on the line I want it on.
Set parking brakes.
Boy, they stopped fast, didn't they? You see that?
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Okay, I'll let you know when I have a good engine start. Because we don't have it yet. Okay, you just heard the start selector kick off. So we have good engine start, so I'm going to pop this up again. Control Shift Enter, confirm good engine start. And while they're disconnecting everything and whatnot, I'm going to step away for just a second and we'll come back and take care of our before taxi checklist. So I'll see you here briefly. Alrighty folks, we're clear on both sides. Don't mind the creaky chair again. You see this this route here, this departure route? See, that's not going to happen. There's no way, right? So we're going to actually be flying straight ahead. What we didn't do actually, and let's just do it real fast. I know this is not the place you would normally do this at, or the point in time. But let's just step through our legs real quick because we did not do it earlier. So it's supposed to be Memphis first, and then it's out to Lucky. And I just want to see... there we go. So you can see Lucky's pretty much straight out anyway. So there you have it. And then on from there. And without stepping through, you can just zoom way out and you can see pretty much everything looks pretty good, right? All the way until we get out to PDT. Alright, so there we go. Let's bring that back to 20, that back to map, that back to initial reference. Okay, and let's take care of our before taxi checklist. Left and right generator control switches. They need to be on and the lights need to be off. That's these two down here. Left and right generator control. APU selector switch can go off now. There we go, she's off. Engine start selectors are both on normal. Left and right pack control switches auto and lights off. There they go. Left center right isolation switch auto, lights off. Engine air bleeds on with lights off. Flaps need to be set. It's going to be flaps 5. We'll just double check that. There we go, flaps 5, and they're coming in right now. Stabilizer trim needs to be set 3.25 units, and if you remember, we can go flight controls, and then we'll zip down here, so it's 3.25. We'll see it move here, but there we go. I like that. I like that very much. I don't know why I didn't know that before. Also, if you didn't know this, I haven't been using it, but if you didn't know this, there is a checklist on here. Come way up here. Where's it at? Checklist. Click on the checklist. There you go. So, and it's a little different than the one I'm using, right? But once you complete it, oh, you can't even see it. It's so bright. Bring that brightness down. Even bringing it way down. Look at that. You can still just barely make it out. Why is everything so bright in my sim? I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm not using the checklist on here, but there you have it. So let's put this back on the engine page for the moment. Let's move back along with our checklist here. So stabilizer trim is set. We do need to check that flight controls are free and correct. We can switch it to this one here if we want as well. You can choose which one of these you put this on, so that's why I do that, just to show you guys. So full left, full right, neutral, all the way up, all the way down, neutral, and then rudder full left and full right, and just touching the rudder for whatever reason takes my parking brake off, which I think is utterly ridiculous. We don't want engine on there, we want nav on there. There we go. Switch it back to inbound, so if we switch again we don't grab the wrong one. And what else? Recall switch, that's this guy right here. TCAS is off, that makes sense. Wing and engine anti-ice auto as needed. Taxi light needs to come on. And that's this guy right here. There's our taxi light. And runway turn off lights as needed. That takes care of all of that. Track hour coming on, a little jump. Boom. We've already done our taxi brief. So let's have the departure briefing, please. Alrighty then, as you can see, there's a lot going on for the Elvis 4 departure. Taking a look at these, you saw these in the FMC, North 3, North 4, North 5, and so on. There's a lot of information on here, guys. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as I can. First of all, DME and radar are required. You can make no turns below 800 feet. Transponder code comes from Memphis Clearance Delivery. There are some restrictions. North 5, East 4, South 3, South 4, West 4, and West 5 are only authorized between 02 and 06 local time, which is not for us. East 2, West 3 transitions restricted to aircraft requesting 9,000 feet or below. Sunrise to sunset, Monday through Friday. Restrictions do not apply on weekday nights, weekends, or holidays, and on and on and on it goes. We are going to be a turbojet aircraft, so our initial climb inset, we look down here, runway 27, it's going to be 273 degrees, climb straight out on vectors. You remember that the Memphis VOR was listed as our first waypoint, so it's got this funky little sort of whoop like that, which isn't working out for us. We do have takeoff minimums. We won't have any problem meeting those, and we have our obvious speed restrictions as well. The last thing I want to look at on here, runway 27 for us, it just says all aircraft climb heading 273 or as assigned by ATC. So that's going to be it for us. We're not going to use one of these transitions. Instead, we're going to be climbing straight out at 273 degrees until we make our turn. We'll assume that we have permission from ATC, and we'll make our turn to our first waypoint. I forgot what it is off the top of my head. That being said, we do have a maximum altitude of 5,000 feet. We'll hold that shortly, and then off we go. And that's pretty much the gist of it. You can see that this looks just crazy, and if you are using one of these transitions, obviously there's a little more you need to look at. But for us not using transition today, it's going to work out pretty well. Memphis departure control is going to be 124.65, and that's it. I think we're good to go. Alright guys, let's take care of this before takeoff checklist really quick. Landing lights need to come on. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Strobe lights need to come on. It's kind of weird the way those textures are flashing like that, but whatever it is, what it is. Strobe lights are on. Traffic mode. So that's talking about on here, you click that for traffic, and then we need to turn TCAS on anyway. All the way up to TARA. There we go. Move my head a little fast, didn't I? Clock run. I always forget the clock, and nobody I think has ever called me on that. Let's get out here on the runway. Clock has begun. Yeah, that's, you know, the texture or the frame rate seem to be doing really good right now, which is great. I love it. But the way the light is reflecting off the ground or whatever is causing that shimmering, that's a shame. It really is. But at least it hasn't been super choppy, right? I mean, we're getting 40 frames a second right now. Sometimes I honestly don't know why it's choppy. I'll be getting 30, 40 frames a second and it'll still be choppy, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. But it is what it is. So anyway, here we go. Lots of room here. I'm going to take it. I don't want to get it going too quick. Make a nice hard turn. I want to try and line up as far back here as I can. I might have tapped the brakes just a wee bit harder than I meant to there. Okay, that's alright. Swing her around here. This thing will turn on a dime. I'm not even sure that's accurate. Nonetheless, here we are, lined up. What do you say we go for it, guys? Bring those throttles up. And toga. Toga! Love it. Other than that shimmering, I'm really happy with it right now. That shimmering is really obnoxious. It's got to be something in that scenery file that's not working right. Whoa. What just happened? See that? The aircraft rejected takeoff on its own. See that? What the heck?
100 feet remaining.
Alrighty, let's get over here and see what this FMC message is. Pull it up here. Takeoff speeds deleted. What happened? That was weird. Well, shall we go back and try it again? I don't even know what happened there. I wonder if I bumped something accidentally. Stop it. Strobe lights off. There you go, Alex. I know right now he's going, thank you. Okay, so I have no idea why it did that. No idea at all. I've got everything set. Flaps are set. Everything's set. Auto brake did not function as it's supposed to, interestingly enough. But it is what it is. So, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and taxi back, and we're going to give her another try. So I'll see you guys back at the end of the runway. Alrighty, folks, we got her lined up here again. Let's go over it one more time before takeoff checklist. Landing lights are on, strobe lights are on, auto throttle is on. If we didn't arm LNAV, VNAV, we can do that, but that wasn't the reason for the RTO, I guarantee it. Traffic mode is set, clock is still running. We're going to leave it running at this point. And transponder mode is TARA. There is no reason we should have had a rejected takeoff, but the aircraft did it on its own after I hit toga, so I don't know. Let's see if it does it again. Let's get those throttles up. What did it say? Config flaps? Flaps are configured. That was weird. Oh, I know what it was. It was spoilers. Okay, toga. Okay, this time we're going. The spoilers deployed automatically on the rejected takeoff.
V1.
Here we go.
Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Alright. I cannot seem to get those, what you call them, the displays dim down a little more. It's ridiculous how bright they are. I'm going to work on that here in a little bit, but I'm not going to mess with it anymore right now. But it is hard to see that, isn't it? Ooh, that is a seriously steep climb. Goodness gracious. Alright, I'm going to put autopilot on now. Just because I don't know what's going on with this thing, to be honest with you. So let's just let it do its thing. There we go. Should take us up to 5,000 feet. Caviar coming off. There it is. You know what? I want to just look real quick in the options for PMDG, performance, colors, sound. I don't think colors are going to make a difference, right? It's just brightness, but I can't figure out why everything's so bright. It's insane how bright that is. And I even turned the color or the brightness all the way down. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Progress page. And bring those flaps all the way up. And so here's the adjustments form, right? So that's all the way down. And it's still so bright. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. I don't know why that is so bright like that, but look at it. It is ridiculously bright, isn't it? And nothing I do seems to be bringing that brightness down any. I don't know what that's all about, but here it is, 4-panel brightness. It's not something on the overhead, I can tell you that much. This is the master brightness, but this is for all these backlights is what it is. Glare shield, panel flood. That's floodlights though. That's not displays. So I'm gonna have to figure out why those displays are so bright, because you can't really see them, can you? Which is ridiculous. Okay, let's take care of our after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up. Auto brake needs to go off, which it did. Once we get above 10,000 feet, landing lights will go off. Seatbelt signs as desired, and then transition altitude will set standard. We'll assume at this point that we've been cleared to our next altitude, which is all the way up, flight level 360. There we go. Click it. Is she gonna climb? There she goes. approach. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. That's right. It is time for some of that obligatory elevator music. Okay, unlike our departure, our arrival briefing is going to be a little simpler today. It's the chins for arrival. We're coming in out here at PDT, or Pendleton VOR, down to Brook, Sund, and then Chins, and then down here to Ratty and to Auburn, and then we'll be banging a left there to get set up for our approach. A couple things we need to consider here. Turbojet, that's us. If you're landing on 3-2 left or right, you need to be at 250 knots here at Ratty and 11,000 feet. We are landing north on 3-4, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, we're turbojet landing north, so we're gonna cross at and maintain 12,000 feet over Ratty, and at 250 knots. Pretty simple and straightforward there. Once we get on our vectors here, that'll take us over to our approach. Let's see, Tacoma ATIS is on 118.0. Airport elevation, it says C graphic. It's talking about what? What graphic? That I didn't even notice that until just now, actually. That's all right. I'm not that worried about it. We're going to be good to go. There are a bunch of airfields here, I think. Oh, here it is right here. So this has got to be the graphic they're talking about. It's 432 feet for Tacoma. That's where we're going, Seattle. But you've got all these other airports real close by, and that's why. Anything else we need to worry about here? Landing north, depart Auburn, heading 250 for vectors to final approach course. We already talked about that. And then lost comms procedure. And that's it. We're good to go on this arrival briefing. Alrighty, folks. We're 50 miles. I think I said 50. We're about 50 miles from top of descent here. We want to go ahead and take care of our descent checklist really quick. First things first, we want to take care of our FMC, verify the arrival and the approach, and I'll hop down here to do it. I like doing it this way. So arrival, we're already on the arrival. That's all there is to it. So we're on the Glasser 1 arrival. We're going to take the ILS 34 right approach. That should work out nicely for us. So we're good there. And then we need to take care of our approach reference page here. And we're going to do full flaps landing, 137 knots. Click on that one, put it there, and you're all set. It's as easy as that. Flight instruments, nav, altitude, radios, all of that stuff is set. We need to move this down to 7,000 feet, it looks like. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. 2,200 feet. And then I've got it set over on the 1,000, so you click the back part of the knob there, and that goes to hundreds. So there we go, 2,200 feet. And that way it'll automatically start the descent for us. I was looking in the manual, just going through it, making sure, you know, I'm pretty much on track with what I'm doing here. And it was saying for altitude constraints that you can, there's two different ways of doing it. There's your normal way of doing it, which is you set your next altitude constraint, and then when ATC tells you, you set the next one, and so on and so forth. But if there's a lot of them really close together, the alternate method is to set the lowest one of the ones that are close together. Even though ours aren't all close together, we're using that alternate method. So it is actually a method of doing it. But anyway, what else? Wing and engine anti-ice is on auto. Recall switch needs to be pushed. It's way over here. And you may have seen or figured out, or noticed, I figured out how to turn down the brightness on these. So I looked it up, and of course first thing everybody says is, oh, it's in the manual. Look in the manual. Why aren't you looking in the manual? Which one? There's like 7 of them. Which one is it in that specifically says the brightness? Because I went through all of them. I didn't read through all of them. I at least looked at the chapter headings because I was looking for something else anyway, and I didn't see anywhere specifically that said adjusting cockpit lighting or something like that. So I know it's in there. I'm not saying it's not in there. I'm just saying, you know, when your immediate response is, oh, look at the manual, why didn't you read the manual? Well, there's 7 of them, and that includes, of course, the tutorial and whatnot. But like the FCOMs, the flight crew or the flight crew operations manuals, those are like 500 pages long, and there's 2 of them. So I don't know. I just don't think it's cool to just say, well, read the manual. Why don't you just, you know, I'm asking the question. Maybe I didn't read the manual at all. That's fair enough. But, you know, if you know the answer, why don't you just give it? And then somebody finally provided the answer, which was a simple case of this button right here. So if I have this button on this knob pushed in, then this controls all the brightness. And then if I have it out like it is right now, it allows me to use these to control brightness, which is my preference, of course. So there you go. There you have it. Easy days. Okay, auto brake as required. We've got a lot of runway. We're not going to use auto brake. Landing data, we just took care of that. And then approach briefing, which we're going to take care of once we're on the descent. So that's pretty much the gist of it. That takes care of our descent checklist. I'm going to hop off here, and then I will come back on once we are on the descent. We'll take care of that approach checklist, and then away we go. Alright, it's going to be the ILS runway 34 right approach for us today. ATIS is going to be 118.0 with Seattle approach on 133.65. Tower for us is going to be 119.9er and ground on 121.7. Our localizer frequency is 110.3 with a final approach course of 344 degrees. Glide slope intercept at Buck, 2,200 feet. And our ILS decision altitude is 200 feet radar, or 572 feet MSA. What? My brain is not going to function right now at all. We're going to be using radar anyway, or radio altimeter. So 200 feet for us. Anyway, airport elevation 432 feet. Touchdown zone elevation for 34 right is 372 feet. For a missed approach, we're going to climb on heading 343 and outbound on the Seattle VOR 341 radial to cross Coila at 4.7 from the Seattle VOR And then at or above, with radar altitude at or above 3,000 feet, then climb to 5,000 feet outbound on Seattle VOR radio 341 to Magnum, which is 12.7 from the Seattle VOR, and we're on radar altitude still, and hold. Continue climb and hold to 5,000 feet. A lot going on there, right? It's actually not that difficult. It's a pretty straight out climb. What else we got here? Taking a look at our altitudes. These are going to be pretty important because we're coming in from over the mountains here. At GPOX, we need to be 7,000 feet, descend down to WAG-T 6,000, kneel at 5, cruise at 4, and then intercept at 2,200 feet at Buck. And then on in from there, we should have happy lights on the right hand side with, I forget what MALSR stands for. It has to do with the lighting intensity and pattern and all that. You can see what the pattern looks like there. And I think that's it. That's all we really need to worry about on this one. We should be good to go, so let's go fly it. Alrighty folks, we're just about on top of GPOX here. We'll be making our right turn towards our final approach course. It's going to be 344 degrees. Let's see if I can put that in there. 344 on here. There we go. 2,200. Had to think there for a second. It's early in the morning for me. 2,200 feet is where we want to intercept the glide slope. So we're looking good there. Speed coming down. We'll go ahead and put out some speed brakes there. I want to slow it down for this turn a little bit. Let's throw in that first setting of flaps. It's coming in there, looking good. There's our turn. And let's see, we'll see if we can get a nice smooth landing here. Now I can't guarantee things aren't going to get choppy as we come in. It wasn't choppy as we pulled out of, or as we flew out of Memphis, which was really nice. I was glad to see that. I'm going to bring in the next setting of flaps here. So it was nice to see that it wasn't choppy on our way out. When I initially loaded this airport in, it wasn't choppy, but the frame rates were low, and it just seems like when the frame rates are lower and I'm recording, it gets really choppy. If you have steady frame rates, just so you get, some of you probably already know this, but if you have steady frame rates, say you get 20 frames per second, it's not choppy at 20 frames per second because it's steady. You can look around and move around, and it's not choppy when it stays steady. However, it's when your frame rates change, especially when they drop. Let me turn on localizer here. Especially when they drop, dramatic, like right there was a sudden change, a large change, right? So any large change, especially going down, is going, well, I think only going down is going to change your, or is going to make it chop. Am I making sense here? I'm kind of babbling on. If you have a sudden large drop in frame rates, it's going to create chop. That's the problem. So with this scenery and this airport and everything being pretty dense, it just depends on how much the sim has loaded in right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn off terrain. That's one less thing the sim's got to produce. But if it's trying to load in a bunch at once, it'll drop the frame rates. I think that makes sense to everybody. There you have it. So we're sitting at flaps 5, coming up on, what are we coming up on here? Clues. Already? No. Yeah, we're coming up on clues already. Let's hit our approach switch here. We're way above though. We're on VNAV speed, so let's throw out some spoilers, and that'll get it to nose over a little bit. Because it's on VNAV speed, so instead of increasing thrust to gain speed, it's going to increase our rate of descent. Does that make sense? If you're on VNAV path, it'll hold the path that it's on, and it'll increase thrust to maintain speed. So since we're on VNAV speed right now, we just throw out the spoilers. That slows it down. My brain is not functioning well right now. We throw the spoilers out, that slows the aircraft down. It pushes the nose over, the autopilot pushes the nose over to try and gain speed. And you can see we're coming onto our descent path again here now. and sometimes you'll see this will switch to VNAV. Let me pop this one up. So we're on there. Just grab the glide slope. So let's get rid of the spoilers. Sometimes that'll switch back to VNAV path for you. So okay, so we're on the glide slope now. We are about 4 miles from Buck. Let's go ahead and throw in the next. Actually, we need to bring the speed down. See, my brain's just not keeping up right now. Okay, so speed VREF is 137, so we want to be VREF plus 5, 142. I checked that in the manual as well today, and it is VREF plus 5. Throw that gear down. Next setting of flaps coming in. Gear's going to help slow us down. Get our view where we want it to be. Track IR coming on. There it is.
2500.
Alright, looking pretty good. You can see the runway ahead of us there. Or you can see the PAPI lights for the runways. Let's let that speed come down a little ways more here. Let's go ahead and arm the spoilers. Let's take care of this before landing checklist. Below 10,000 feet, our landing lights are on. Our speed brakes are armed. Seatbelt signs are on auto. Our altimeters are set. Our landing gear is down, and we are working on the flaps right now. Next flap setting coming in. Yeah, we're pretty fast here. More flaps equals more drag. It's always good. That speed's coming down nicely. We should be just about perfect here, actually. Next flap setting. Yeah, there's 25. That's going to throw out a lot of drag. You can see that speed tape coming down a lot quicker now. Zoom in for you. Right? It'll auto land if we let it. We're not going to. Throw in that last setting of flaps. There we go. We're going to leave the auto throttles on. Let's let her settle. We're looking good here. We're not going to auto land. Did we get 1,000 yet? I think we did. Nope, there it is right there. Alright, let's turn the autopilot off. If I can find it in the dark. There we go. Autopilot's off. And we dropped just a little low there.
Right.
Little chop coming in. Not frame rate chop. It was bumpy. We got below the glide slope just a little bit there. There she is coming back in nicely. Please tell me that aircraft is not going to pull out on the runway. He might. We're not going to do a go around if he does, so we're just a little below that glide slope. Not too bad. Trying to just bring her up a little bit here. You don't want to overdo it though. We're looking pretty good. We're not bad here.
300.
Oh yeah, they're waiting
minimums.
for us. Now we're way too low.
Minimums.
Continue. Okay, we got it. My bad.
100.
Yeah.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Now I'm not pulling on it. It's floating on its own. Ooh, that was butter. I'll have to check that landing rate. Cargo ramps all the way at the end. Oh, where are you going there? Oh, one of the reversers kicked off. That was interesting. Alright. Well, that explains why it yanked to the left all of a sudden. Alright, we'll just kind of coast down to the end of the runway here.
Remaining.
Let me pull up the right chart there, and I just want to see on A-cars, what was our landing rate? Minus 115. Not too bad, actually. It floated a little bit. I got a little low there, and I just couldn't seem to recover it. I was trying not to pull too hard on it. We're going to take Echo exit. Is that this one here? I don't know if I can see in the dark. Yep, this is echo here, so. Ooh, there we go. Toe brakes. Yeah, I just couldn't seem to get it to come back up. I didn't want to come too hard because then you end up high like we did at the end. So I was trying to get it right. Our frame rates are actually really holding pretty good right now. I'm very pleased with that. Anyway, unfortunately, never quite got it back up far enough. Wrong. Oh, what did I just do? Now I gotta stop. Hold on. Goodness gracious. I wish I could turn that feature off. We'll leave the turn off lights on. Okay, let's get off this runway here. We're still on it. I had to stop because I couldn't see where I was. There we go. Off to the left here. Alright. After landing checklist, landing lights are off. Strobe lights need to go off. Alex will be really upset with me if I don't turn them off. Okay, make the turn here. Got to pay attention to what we're doing while looking at the checklist. This is why two pilots is helpful, right? Taxi light is on, correct? Yes, it is. What else here? APU selector switch. We need to turn that on or start the APU. There we go. What else? Let's get those flaps all the way up. Our cargo ramp is right there. Now I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to ask GSX. Sorry for zooming in on you like that, but my buttons for GSX switched here. And now it's not working at all. Trek hours coming off. Okay. What the heck? Now my GSX won't pull up at all. You're kidding me. It's always something, isn't it, guys? GSX. Why is it not coming up? Okay, I'm not messing with it. It is what it is. Let's finish our after landing checklist real quick. Speed brakes. Put that track hour back on. Speed brakes need to be. It says up on here. I guess that just means the handle up, but it already is. So flaps are up at this point, and transponder mode needs to go to standby. That's this guy way over here. There it is. Okay, I'm going to taxi in and park it. Unfortunately, we're not going to have GSX over there to guide us in. I don't know why it just isn't working all of a sudden, but I have always had some issues with it, and I guess that's going to continue. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute once we get her parked, and we'll take care of shutting it down. Alright, we got her parked. I tried restarting the Codal engine or whatever it's called, all of that good stuff. I can't get GSX to work. Maybe it's just this airport. I don't know. It was working actually on the way in. I pulled up a weather report with it, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's take care of the shutdown checklist. Parking brake is set. Taxi light is off, not off, but off. Left and right fuel control switches both need to go off. Seatbelt signs can go off. I don't think it really matters in a cargo aircraft, right? Anyway, beacon light can go off, which is that one. Maybe. There we go. Beacon light off. Nav light, it says stays on. Let's just jump up to the overhead here. C1 and 2 air demand hydraulic pump selectors both go off. That's these two here. And then it's the left goes off, and then the electric hydraulic pump switches go off, and then the right goes off, and then the fuel pump switches. So that's the order you're supposed to shut those down in. These two, then this one, then these two, then this one. That's kind of weird. Down here, the MCP, the flight director switches need to go off. There we go. And then APU selector switch as needed. Let me pop up A cars over here. And here's our A cars. You can see our landing rate, -115. Not bad. You know, especially since we got a little low and then floated a little, but we managed to put her down nice and smooth. So let's stop the flight, file the PIREP, and then we'll get a notification here in a second once it's filed. I think. Try it again. File. There we go. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I had to click on the file PIREP. Okay, let's close that out. And that logs our flight with Mac Air, which is fantastic. Shutdown checklist is complete. Now we take care of our secure checklist. Jumping up top here. The Ataroo needs to come off. That's your IRS system on this aircraft. Emergency exit lights need to go off. Right click and then right click the little switch inside and you're all set. Left and right pack control switches go off. These two here. Apu selector switch goes off. And last but not least, the battery switch goes off. And that's going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to have GSX out there for you starting the unload process, but like I said, it just won't work. It's got to be this airport. That's really what I think it is, because I haven't had any other problems with it so far, to be honest with you, except for it deciding to use a different control setting or key setting to, what do you call it? To be able to pull up the menu. But anyway, it doesn't matter. If you haven't already done so, guys, please go ahead and take the opportunity, smash the subscribe button for me. Hoping to get above 10,000 by the end of the year. We're doing pretty good. We're at 8,300 right now, I think, something like that. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you like this particular content. The more thumbs up I get, the more likely I am to repeat one of these videos. The only exceptions will be the Life of a Virtual Whatever Pilot series. Those I'm going to keep doing anyway once I get back on track with those. But that's pretty much the gist of it. You guys are fantastic. I love all of you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to view the videos. And until next time, as always, guys, keep the blue side up unless otherwise instructed by ATC. Y'all have a fantastic day.